Can my IRA partner with myself so that we can buy this investment property? We hear this all the time at Mountain West IRA, and today we are going to be going over the ins and outs of partnering with your IRA and what it really means, especially on real estate transactions. This is where we see this most at. So we're going to cover this. I'm Megan Culane, and I'm the Director of Business Development here at Mountain West IRA. So to get started, can you officially partner your IRA with yourself? Yes. The answer is yes. However, there's a few things we need to keep in mind. Number one being that partnership percentage needs to be established upon purchase of the property. So if we do a 70-30 split upon purchase, it must stay that way through the life of the property. You cannot personally sell your personal shares to your IRA, and your IRA cannot sell you the other shares. However, little disclaimer, if you're of retirement age, your IRA can actually distribute the IRA's portion, just for if you wanted to know that part. So to keep the IRA in good standing, upon purchase of this property, let's say a 70-30 split, you will need to treat this purchase as if the IRA owns 100% of the property. So you cannot live in it. You cannot have your linear family, so your parents, grandchildren, your children, grandchildren, and their spouses, they cannot live in the property. You cannot do handyman work or any sweat equity on the property. You cannot go vacation there. You cannot do anything in the property. When we say treat this as if the IRA owns 100%, anything that you cannot do if the IRA owns it, that's how you should be treating this, even if you are part owner. So with a 70-30 split for this example, it could be any percentage, just so you know. But let's say 70-30 split, all income must come into the IRA at 70%, you personally 30%, and any expenses must go out 70-30. So you have to make sure you have enough reserves in the IRA and you personally can handle any of the expenses that come with this property being owned partially by you and the IRA. I like to think of it as there's two different people that are in the IRA transaction, because I like to think of my IRA as one person and me as one person. And then that way I can really think through like, okay, like if the roof needs to be repaired, the IRA covers 70% and I would have to cover 30%. Can I personally handle that? And is that of my comfort level of the investments that I'm looking at? That's what you have to think about when your IRA and you partner on a transaction, specifically real estate. So let's break it down with some numbers. Let's say it's a $200,000 house that you are purchasing for investment purposes only. You cannot live in it. Your linear family, parents, grandparents, children, grandchildren, and their spouses cannot live in it. And you cannot do any sweat equity on it. So $200,000 purely investment rental property that you're purchasing, which I don't know where that's located in this market, but maybe one day you'll be able to find one, and that may be a great deal. Your IRA will be paying 140% of this purchase price. We're doing a cash offer. And your personal funds are going to be covering $60,000, which is 30% of this transaction. We have met the total of $200,000 for this transaction upon purchase. So all these funds will be sent to the title company, and the title company will then do the deed in the name of the IRA and you personally. This must be done at the time of purchase. All insurance, all repairs, all taxes, everything must be divided 70-30 because this was the percentage that was established upon the purchase of the property. Now, we do see this quite a bit. However, we also see people choose to open accounts for maybe their spouses, their children, their grandchildren, and do annual contributions and partner all IRAs. I think the most I've ever seen on a real estate transaction, and remind you, this is what I've seen. There may have been other ones that I haven't seen inside of Mountain West IRA, but it had 8 different people on it, all of which were gentlemen's children, grandchildren, his spouse. So he chose one real estate investment property and split it among the accounts. So he didn't have to personally come up with any funds outside of the transaction. They were all inside the IRAs. And this makes it a little bit easier than pairing your personal funds with your IRA funds, because if they are all in an IRA here at Mountain West IRA, we could send one check. When the rental income comes in, we'll divide it accordingly. And we just make sure that those funds get documented properly within the IRA accounts. Once you partner personally with yourself in your IRA, the IRA, we keep all record keeping documents for. However, for you personally, you have to prove that and show and do that record keeping to make sure the transaction is done properly and documented properly, and all expenses are split property, all income is split property. And so it can become a little bit of a headache when it comes to the record keeping side. So we definitely want you to know you can partner multiple IRAs. However, if you want to partner personally, you definitely can. It just has to be established upon purchase of the asset. Thank you so much for joining us today in our YouTube series.